Hey yo everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video, and today we're going to be doing some questions and answers. So where you guys have the opportunity to ask me questions, and I try the best I can to give you guys good answers. Now remember, there's no such thing as a stupid question. You guys can ask me anything. Except for who's going to win at WrestleMania between The Rock and John Cena. I think we all know that The Rock is going to come out on top as the winner. So, with that said, I posted a video not too long ago. I think it was actually on Tuesday, and I said that you guys can ask questions on that video, and I will take the questions from that video specifically, or you can send me a message on YouTube. Only one person did that, but I got a good response when it came down to the questions that you guys asked on the video. So, what I'm planning on doing is I'll just answer all the questions in one video, and I will try to put as much time and effort into answering them the best I can. I was thinking about breaking this up into more than one videos, but there's really no point. I can just do it all in one video. Sure, it'll be long, but hey, it gets the job done. So, hope you guys are okay with that. I know some of you guys don't like watching a video more than 10 somewhat minutes long, so sorry about that. But with that said, I am going to be drinking my chocolate milk here. It doesn't really look like chocolate milk on screen, but I'm going to be drinking this while I do the answers to your questions. And one sec, I need to... Oh, very, very parched. So with that said, let's just jump into these questions. First and foremost, like I said, I did get one message, and it was from the Ultimate Batman Dude, which, by the way, I have been watching some of his videos, so check him out, Ultimate Batman Dude. He does pretty good stuff. Kind of a little plug there. I don't usually do plugs, but there's a little plug. Okay, so with that said, is the story Batman Last Arkham canon? Is the first story arc of Shadow of the Bat series, and it introduces Mr. Zsasz. Do you know if this is in continuity? I believe it is, because everything from Batman prior is still pretty much in continuity. We haven't seen Mr. Zsasz yet, but I would say it is. Is it worth the $30 to $40 that they're asking for it? I don't know, but I believe it actually still is. Next question he asked was, what do you think of the new DC logo? I'm not crazy about it. I'm sure it'll grow on me, but I prefer the classic DC logo that we have here. I think that logo is really nice. It stands out, it pops, and you can customize it accordingly to the comics that you are selling, as they are actually doing with the new 52. The new logos just feel, I don't know, blah. And next is, I am confused about one part in Batman R.I.P. It is revealed that during the isolation chamber experiment that Dr. Hurt gave Bruce the trigger, but in the story, the trigger was used by Batman to protect himself from psychological attacks. So what happened? Did Bruce know about the trigger set up by Dr. Hurt and use it to his advantage? So then why does it later say that Bruce made the identity to protect himself? I'm extremely confused about this. If you could help me explain, it, it would be greatly appreciated. Now, when it comes down to the Batman of an arm and its confusion with the trigger in Batman's head, is Batman did have the trigger put in his head in the isolation chamber by Dr. Hurt. Now, the trigger is Zur-Arm, or something along the line. I don't know how it's pronounced. Zur-Ar. Yeah, anyways. Bruce made a mental defense for himself, just in case he does have a psychological attack on him. Now, the way I see it is that when the trigger, Zur-Arm, was activated, the defense that Bruce put in his brain activated, and it repressed his conscious, repressed his identity, and put a protective one up. Now, this protective identity is a blank slate. However, because Zur-Arm was all over the place, and it was used as the trigger or the attack for Bruce, the psychological defenses that he made probably just incorporated that and made it into that personality. I don't think it was anything that Dr. Hurt did or was anything that Dr. Hurt planted. I just think it was what was around Bruce when he defended himself from the psychological attack. It's kind of like if he had Axe deodorant as the trigger and Axe deodorant was all over the place and he had to defend himself from the psychological attack, he would call himself the Batman of Axe deodorant. That's kind of weird, but hey, so is Batman Azura and So, I hope that answered your question. I don't think it was specifically the Zur and thing that really kind of created the persona. I think it was just what was around at the time. So, with that said, let's jump into the questions themselves, the comments. And if there's any repeating comments, I'm just going to skip over them. Because I think some of the questions were asked more than once. I can already see a logo question. What has been your favorite title out of the new 52? What movies do you plan on seeing, looking forward to this year? My favorite title? Is it title? Yeah. My favorite title, the number one title for me is Batman. I know Batman's my favorite character, and I might be playing some favoritism, but Scott Snyder is knocking out of the ballpark. He's knocking out of the ballpark, flying out, catching it, throwing it back at himself, then knocking out of the ballpark again. It's really good stuff. As for movies, I'm not sure what movies I'm looking forward to this. I haven't been able to watch movies all that much recently. You know what movie I did watch recently that was really good that I was surprised at? I'm just fixing something on my screen. Tangled from Disney. I know, but it was really a good movie and it started off really nice. I know this is kind of random, but if I have to say, the Chronicle, the one where the kids get the telepathical superpowers, looks pretty good. And I have not seen Underworld for I forget what it's called. I like the Underworld series. I picked up all the movies thus far, and I look forward to seeing how this one is done up. So I guess those two movies, but other than that, I can't think of any movies that are coming out. Maybe I guess Batman, isn't that coming out this year? Hey Andrew, what do you think about the new logo? I already said that. Okay. I always wondered why you neglect other comic publishers. Like you, DC is easily my favorite publisher. I'm not a big fan of Marvel except for a few titles, but Image in particular is showing themselves as a force to be reckoned with. They are consistently adding new fantastic titles to their stellar lineup and are becoming a major player in the industry. Why not give them a go? Well, Microwaves 25. I'm not going to do everyone's name because I'm horrible at pronunciation, but it's not true. DC is not the only thing that I read. I do read Dark Horse with Buffy and Angel, and I do read TMNT, which I believe is Image. I could be wrong. I should probably check that. But I do read some comics that aren't DC, but the real big reason why is just money. I mean, if I had a free pass, I would pick up every single comic in the world. I have an addiction. It's called comics. I love reading comics, no matter what the comics are. I love them. I even like campy old comics. I love comics. So if I had the money, I would pick them up. There's a lot of things from Image that people have talked about that I want to pick up, but I just don't have the time or the money to. A few things that I've heard that were really good that I am going to give a chance is I heard Lock and Key was pretty good, and I heard American Vampire, which is also done by Scott Snyder, is really good. So I might give those a chance, but I'm not. That's really the reason. It's just money. It's always money. Money makes the world go round. Excuse me, I am very parched. Okay, could a Justice League movie work? The reason I ask this is because the Avengers is coming out soon, and it looks it looks good. But the Justice League, to me, as characters just seem a little bit more complex. And putting Batman in a movie, putting Batman in a room full of superheroes in live action might be a little silly. What do you think? I think a Justice League movie could very well work. There's just a few things you have to consider. One is you have to have the right actors and actresses for it, depending on what you have for the cast. Two is you need to have it clearly define each Justice League member's role. See, what you got to understand is Batman, even in a live action situation with the Justice League, Batman is the strategic the strategic mastermind behind the Justice League. He is the coordinator. He doesn't have the power of Superman, the speed of the Flash, or the ability to create giant fists or penises with a Green Lantern ring. He is Batman. His intellect is his skill. So Batman is in the movie, he would need to be the problem solver. And obviously his tools would be the Justice League. So you set up a mystery, Batman solves the mystery, and as we go, the Justice League beats everything up. Batman doesn't need to necessarily fight. He could be separated from the Justice League and have fights, not have to worry about being overshadowed by the others. The next thing you have to do is it should be a movie set with the Justice League already established. It should not be an origin, not one bit. Okay, but I think a Justice League movie could work. I mean, anything is possibly could work. It's just a matter of how well it's done and executed. The problem with drinking chocolate milk is you can have a little belching. You mentioned recently what comics you would drop and what comics you are unlikely to drop, and what comics you would collect for good, regardless of the rise or drop in quality. My question is, why would you stay loyal to comics that has had a significant drop in quality? Imagine you're a imagining you're a completist, which I am correct. I still don't get completing something just for the title's name recognition. Maybe that's just me. Okay, yes, I am a completist. If I pick up something, I'm going to have to go all out on it. For example, if I picked up Metroid Prime, I would have to get all the Metroid games. It's just in me. If I pick up Mortal Kombat, I'm going to have to get all the Mortal Kombat games. Those are video game. But, I mean, I am a completist. I like to have everything of everything. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I want to prove that I'm knowledgeable in it. But the reason why I stay loyal to those specific titles that I mentioned is not necessarily quality, although quality is an important thing. It's because it is the characters that I love. Um, if DC decided to release a comic on Donna Troy, no matter what the quality of the comic may be, I would still pick it up because I love Donna Troy. I love Batman. I will support Batman till the end of my days. I love Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Superman, Wonder Woman. These are all characters I enjoy reading, and they are all characters that I love. Trust me, there have been ups and downs with a lot of these characters. Right now, I feel as though Superman's kind of in a down, whereas other characters are in an up, like Wonder Woman and Batman and Flash. Green Lantern's kind of in the gray area. Aquaman's up too, but the thing is because I love these characters, they're characters that are very close and personal to me. The best way I can give it to you the best way I can explain it to you is this. Think of it like a marriage. I'm in it for better or for worse, in sickness and health, in richer and poor, till death do us part. That's how I feel towards these titles. I just love them. I can't really explain it more than that. Good question, though. If Marvel and DC came together and did a mega universe crossover, what would you like to see, and could this work or ever possibly happen? And DC and Marvel has done crossovers before. I don't know if it's at mega level scale, but they've done like Justice League versus Avengers and stuff like that. To be fair, I haven't given too much thought in crossovers because I really don't care for Marvel DC crossovers. It usually just comes out to be the fan favorite coming out on top. I did once have a discussion with my coworker, and we discussed what would happen if DC bought out Marvel, or if Marvel bought out DC, and what would happen to their comic book lines and merging the universe. And we had a long, lengthy discussion, which I could not do in this video right now about it. Like how, you would limit the teams to being just the Justice League, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and the Teen Titans, or something along that lines. And we did this, and this, and we would have the Marvel characters be more, based in the government, or we had some random thing, but I don't really have an answer for that because I don't think about that too much. I guess a big fighting thing would be nice. I would like to see Batman versus Spider-Man. You know why? Because Batman's my favorite character and Spider-Man's my least favorite superhero. I do not like Spider-Man. I would like to see Batman kick his butt. There you go. Sorry, but that question, why is one of these flagged for spam? Sorry, but that's the best I can answer it. One of these were flagged for spam. I don't know why. What was your most expensive comic trade or omnibus you've ever purchased? I would like to get Avengers in comics. Where should I start? Um, Avengers, I don't know if I can't give you advice on that. I can't. I'm sorry. I think Marvel did a Heroic Age relaunch recently. Not really relaunch, but a starting on point for people. Try to look into that. My most expensive comic or trade? Probably Batman Legacy. It's a pretty expensive trade to find. Um, that or there's one Wonder Woman one that's pretty atrociously hard to find. Wonder Woman, the Challenge of Artemis. That one was tough to find too. But yes, those are probably my most expensive. I don't have a lot of expensive stuff, but hey, there you go. Do you have a favorite Image character? Are you reading any Marvel-related comics, and what's your favorite ongoing series? As for Image, I don't read much Image, as I just stated in a previous question. However, if the Turtles are part of Image, are they part of Image? One sec. No, they're not. No. The Turtles are part of IDW. Silly me. I should know that too. I guess I don't have a favorite Image character. I can't answer that. As for am I reading any Marvel-related comics? No. I am peeking over the fence here and there. I do peek over the fence sometimes at Marvel, but I never purchase anything. My friend is the opposite of me. He's a big Marvel fan and a Matt DC fan. I talk to him about Marvel when it happens. Uh, but yeah, I don't read anything Marvel. And what's my favorite ongoing series? As I stated, Batman is my current favorite ongoing series. Outside of DC, it would have to be Angel. It's a tie between Angel and Faith and TMNT. But in DC Comics, it is Batman. Okay. Moving on. Since the new DC 52 happened, and there are new status quos that has happened in the Batman universe, new skills, and new experiences, my question is, since you read all the new DC titles with Robin or a former Robin in them, who would win in an all-out fight between them, and why? Dick, Jason, Tim, or Damian? Interesting question. Now, the way I'm going to approach this is, and let me just adjust that. The way I'm going to approach this is that although there is a new status quo in DC, not much on Batman has changed. So, with that said, based on what I've read of Batman with all the Robins in it, it would be a very close fight between Jason and Dick, but I would still give it to Dick. Allow me to explain. Tim is great, but he's not Jason and Dick. He doesn't have the training that Jason and Dick have. Dick Grayson has been trained for years by Batman. Even with the 10-year gap that Batman's been around, Dick was with Batman probably longer than any Robin. And he's been trained by the best. He was Batman for a time. And Jason had gone through some rigorous training with the All Cast. Or the Untitled. Which one is it? I think it's the All Cast. So he has gone through rigorous training with them, as well with Bruce. I don't think Damian or Tim have the training. Despite the fact that Damian has been trained by the League of Assassins, he doesn't have that training. But the reason why Dick would win is just because Dick is a more creative fighter. Jason's more of a dirty fighter, but Dick is probably more skilled. At this point, Dick is probably one of the most skilled fighters. I would actually put him higher up there than Black Canary, which is saying something. Black Canary is one of the top two. He's probably right under Bruce and Lady Shiva if she's around. But I mean, Dick is one of the most skilled fighters in the DCU, so I think he has a little bit more skill. I think he's a little bit more creative. I think it's also harder to fight Dick Grayson than anyone else, other than maybe Batman or Lady Shiva, because Dick Grayson's style is so unique. It's a blend of everything that he's done with an acrobatic flair to it. I'm a martial artist, and people that have unique styles like that, styles that are unrecognizable, can be hard to adapt to, and I think that's why Dick would probably win that. And I think Dick will always be painted out as the prodigal son, as the best of the Robins. I'm not saying that because Dick is my favorite, because I love Jason, I love Tim, and I'm warming up to Damian, but I think Dick will always be the top Robin. I always wanted to open up my own comic store in the future. Do you think the comic store industry will thrive in the years to come? Thanks a lot. Great videos, Andrew. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Um, Funny thing you said that. One of my friends I have known since high school. So I'm 24 and I've known him since I was 14. 10 years. That's a long friendship. He was talking to me one day and he said that he wanted to open a comic store and he asked me if I would like to do it with him. Because I have the business aspect of things and I kind of have the knowledge and he has the money to put forth to it. And I said to him, not now, but I said maybe in the future if things go well. However, the thing is that it's going to be tough to start a comic book company because one is everything's getting thrown to digital. Two is established comic book companies are going to be hard to compete with. And three, in order to survive as a comic book company, you have to be more than just a comic book company. You have to be a comic book company that has DVDs, that has video games, that has card games like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh, and then various other stuff. Um, my comic store my comic store sells everything. It has a humongous comic selection, but it has a fantastic video game selection of all video games. And I go to them almost more than I go to GameStop. A fantastic DVD selection, a fantastic music selection. It has also action figures and collectibles of the wazoo. It has enough to support itself. If you're going to be a successful comic book company or a comic book store, you need to have the products there. If I was to open a comic store, I would have it be 30% comic books and the 30% games and stuff like video games and then card games and stuff and do tournaments like that, and then the rest be miscellaneous stuff like movies and CDs. There's a comic store that I went to, God, must have been 6 years ago with one of my buddies. And it's a funny story. That's the story I'll have to tell sometimes. I made a girl cry during a card tournament during that, and I felt like an asshole afterwards. But hey, it happens. What was interesting about that comic store is that they had literally a room in the back filled with 20 plus computers for people to play online games with, which I thought was actually an interesting and good idea. Do I think comic book companies are going to thrive? I think thrive is a strong word, and I would not say thrive. I think some will survive. I think some of the more established ones will survive. Some of the smaller ones won't. They'll have to improvise. But you have to be multi-diverse when it comes down to your product in comic books as a comic book company. So let me just see. Okay. I'm just curious, what's your opinion on Marvel as opposed to DC, more in depth, since you replied to my comment on your last video? Maybe you could do a standalone video expressing your opinion on both companies. Um, Maybe I could. I'm actually, that's not a bad idea. Maybe I should. When it comes down to it, though, it comes down to the same thing I've said before. Marvel and DC have two different philosophies. There's several reasons why I don't pick up Marvel, but you're not asking that question. You're asking me to do a Marvel and DC comparison. Briefly, as I said, it really comes down to two philosophies. Neither of them are right or wrong. It's what you enjoy. DC has heroes that you can look up to. They're larger-than-life heroes that you look up to, that you inspire to be. Who doesn't inspire to be Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman or Green Lantern? But they also embrace their comic book heritage and their comic book background. And in addition to that, they have more flashiness when it comes out of their comics. And that's basically DC. Marvel is a little bit more rooted in realism and have characters that you can relate to, and their costumes are a little less traditional superhero and a little bit more paramilitary when it comes down to it. That's really what it comes down to, is two different uh, tones in philosophy, and neither is right or wrong. It's what the person enjoy. I like looking up to my heroes. That's why I like DC more. I like the cape and the cowl and the flamboyant collar and all that kind of stuff heroes can have. Like I said, my buddy loves Marvel, because Marvel has the realism and the stuff that you can relate to. Now, there are exceptions to the rule on either side. You can relate to a character in DC, and you can look up to a character in Marvel. There can be characters in DC that are dressed in paramilitary or have very streamlined, simple costumes, and there are characters in Marvel that have very flashy, traditional superhero costumes. That it's not the case either which way. It's just they have two different philosophies that they stick by. Now, you hold on one moment because my door just opened because of my cat, and I want to close my door. Ah! See, the funny thing is about my cat is whenever I scream the "Hey yo," she gets scared and she runs out. But when I'm talking to you guys, she'll come in at any time. It's annoying. I just like to have my door closed because I don't want to bother people when I talk. But yes, I mean, I might go into detail more in another video, but for now, that's with the time that I have, that's the answer I'll have to give. Okay, who do you like more, Batman or Superman? Batman. Wonder Woman or Catwoman? Wonder Woman. Dick Grayson or Tim Drake? Dick Grayson. There you go. Um, if you could have one creative team on Batman comics, who would it be? Not the new 52 Batman. Um, I would always. I mean, what do you mean by not the 52 Batman? You mean just in a traditional Batman story? Um, I would think a good creative team. I would always like to see a George Perez as artist. 80s George Perez. 80s George Perez was awesome. 80s George Perez with either Chuck Dixon or Paul Dini. I think Chuck Dixon has a good grasp on Batman from the 90s, and Paul Dini has a good grasp on Batman in general. I would like to see a story by those guys. I think that would be good. So there you go. Moving on. Still a lot of questions here. If you were if you were put in charge of a Batman movie trilogy, what villains, love interests, other characters, etc. would you use? And what Batman stories from the comics would you base some of your plot of the movies on, if any? Basically, just an overall for what you would do. Thanks. Wow, we're at 27 minutes now. Okay, if I was to do 3 Batman movies, it would be the overall story arc would be kind of a Hush story arc in that not what you think. Allow me. Hush would be the final villain, and his character would be introduced in the first movie, so that we meet Thomas Elliot and we grow with Thomas Elliot, and eventually he becomes Hush. He would be the overall arcing villain and the final villain. I would use Black Mask as the first villain, and then I mean, Bane's being used right now, but I've always been a fan of Bane. I would actually use Lady Shiva as the second villain, or use Lady Shiva in the first movie as a hired gun for Black Mask. So it really comes down to Lady Shiva, Black Mask, Hush as a final villain, and I would probably use Bane too. I'm not gonna lie, Bane's probably pound for pound my favorite Batman villain. Excuse me. As for love interest, you know, we haven't had Silver St. Cloud in a Batman movie yet. Why not have her come in? Overall plot, like I said, I would base it a little bit off of the Hush storyline. As for other Batman stories to incorporate, I'm not sure. That's tough. I would take little bits of pieces for everything. I would take a little bit of pieces from War Games. Just the Black Mask aspect. Or maybe not. I would take Black Mask aspect from Under the Hood. I'm looking at my graphic novels right now, just looking. I would take some aspects from Blind Justice also and incorporate that. Give Batman a little bit more backstory mythos. But mine would not be an origin. It would not. I do not care for origin in movies for superheroes anymore because everyone does them. This thing is really great. Okay. Next. Number 1. Favorite YouTuber not including yourself. Oh, come on. Come on. No, in all honesty, that's a tough one. What do I watch the most? I think I watch IGN a lot on YouTube. If we're talking about YouTuber, and that's tough because it's a lot of people that I like. Paul, the gay comic book geek, he's very insightful and he has some great opinions on comics. Although I don't totally agree with you, Paul, on your DC New 52. That's a great thing about opinions is that we don't have to agree on them. Hey, but Paul is pretty good with his stuff. The only thing is, I wish he would get a little bit back more into doing weekly reviews. I'll just run down through some of them. I enjoy watching Smosh and Crisscross Media. But again, I don't know if I would call those YouTubers. The Real Manos I have started watching, and he's pretty fun to watch. My buddy, OK Fabe, Connor, he's fun to watch. There's a lot of people that I enjoy, but I think those are the ones that stand out in my mind right away. Um, there's tons, and I don't want to exclude anyone, but those are some of the people that stand out right away in my head, so I'm going to go with them. I do watch IGM, Machinima, and stuff like that, but those are basically, if I YouTuber. Which comic book creator, artist, or writer would you want to work with? I mean, I would like to work with Kim Lee as an artist if I was the writer. Um, I would like to think that I would be good as an ideas man, but I don't know if I would be good as a writer. So if I was to write a comic, I would want Paul Dini to be there and write it for me, and I would do the plotting and the story. Um, but yeah, I guess Paul Dini and Jim Lee. I think that's the dream team, but I would not be opposed to so many other possible candidates. On. Do you think anyone would mind if I brought crock pot full 5 alarm chili up? My buddy just texted me asking me a question about the Super Bowl. Uh, Let me just respond to him. Not at all. Bring it. He's asking if he can bring food to the Super Bowl. Send. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I guess my dream team would be Jim Lee and Paul Dini, but I would not be opposed to a lot of other things. If I was to do Wonder Woman, I would want, is it Cliff Chang who's doing the art right now? I would have him as the artist. Writer-wise, I would want to have Gal Simone. I think I would balance out Gal Simone's weaknesses. If she had any. Gal Simone is great at human interaction, but she's not quite as good at plotting. It's the opposite of Grant Morrison. I think I could do the plotting, and she does the human interaction. Favorite comic book story in all of DC, any characters or series. I think I did this before, and I said it was Batman Nightfall, but that's always subject to change. So actually, Scott Snyder's Court of Owls stuff is really good, so that might actually top at number one. But right now it's Nightfall. Nightfall was a fantastic story. Outside of Batman, I think it's fair to answer it outside of Batman. The original New Teen Titans runs and George Perez's run on Wonder Woman. That stuff was great. A favorite non-superhero movie. That would be my favorite movie of all time, and that would be Return of the Jedi, with From Russia with Love and GoldenEye coming in as close second, and then some other stuff. I think I did my top 10 movies before. Check it out. What is my most prized possession in my comic book collection? Oh, I guess all my number. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I have a prized possession. I take very good care of my number ones. Oh, in my comic book collection, it would be all the variant covers and all the regular covers to Angel After the Fall issue number one. That and all my comics that I have signed, which are right up there. I don't know if you can see that. There. I'll show you that to you sometimes. I have Neil Adams, Frank Whiteley, and Jim Lee sign my stuff up there. So that stuff. Wow, this is quite a bit. Here we go. Which Superman villain would you want to see in a film? Brainiac or Doomsday? Which intercompany comic crossover would you want to see happen? Company, does that mean inside DC Comics? A crossover in DC Comics? I would like to see Wildcats and Justice League. That'd be interesting. Do you think the Music Meister from Brave and the Bold could work in a modern comic with some changes? No, that was a fantastic episode, mind you. I enjoyed the Music Meister, but it was good for what Brave and the Bold was, which was a great show. But Brave and the Bold has a different tone than comics these days. Which Batman story would you want to be adapted to an anime film, even a live action movie? Um, Thinking of the Batman comics, I would like to see Nightfall because, like I said, it is one of my favorite Batman stories. I think what would be interesting is maybe Grant Morrison's run on Batman and Robin with Dick and Damian. That would be interesting as a maybe an animated original film. Started off with Bruce's funeral. Be very eerie. Um, Six. Since you skipped five, but whatever. Since everyone agrees that Batman has the best rogue gallery in all comics, who do you think has the best rogue gallery in other mediums, i.e., cartoons, video games, and anime? Well, as much as I dislike Spider-Man, I actually think he has the best rogue gallery in Marvel comics. In Marvel. As for cartoons, that's tough. I don't know if I can't say for cartoons because I can't think of off the top of my head. I've been so far out of our cartoons for a while. Um, let's see, video games. The Mortal Kombat. No, no. What am I saying? Um, that's tough for video games too because usually a video game series doesn't have rogue galleries. Like Zelda has, major villains like Ganon and Vati and Ganondorf, but they're not really a rogue gallery. The term rogue gallery is hard to equate to something. Here, WWE Wrestling has a good rogue gallery. There you go. Dolph Ziggler is a great Joker to anyone's Batman. But that's a really good question. You have me stumped there. Anime, Dragon Ball Z has a good rogue gallery. I'm not gonna lie about that. So I would go with that. But wow, that's tough. There. Best answer I can give. What villain would you like to see in the upcoming issue of Action Comics? I would like to see Lex Luthor used as a villain, but he's already been shown. Someone new. Bizarro. What kind of martial arts do you study? I study Shaolin American Kempo Karate. However, I also cross-train with some stuff here and there. What's your favorite comic book cover of all time? Oh my. Oh my. There's a lot of good comic book covers. Are we talking about individual issues or are we talking about overall with graphic novels and stuff? I think the Batman R.I.P. cover was really good. As was the Heart of Hush comics. Batman issue number 2, Jim Lee variant issue had a good cover. Justice League issue number 1 had a good cover. There's a lot of good covers. You know what else is a good cover from this week? This was a great cover. But if I had to, I would probably pick those. Batman issue number 2 is a very basic comic cover done by Jim Lee, but I still like it. Who would win in a fight? Howard the Duck. The second you answer Howard the Duck wins. It's not even... Seriously, Howard the Duck. Moving on. I've asked this before, but what's your take on Street Fighter series? Like, hate, favorite character in the game? Okay. My contact is screwing up. This is probably going to sing some people out, but okay. Street Fighter. I don't think Street Fighter is a bad fighting game. I actually think it's a very good fighting game series. This is my problem with Street Fighter, and I have a few problems. Number one, when I buy a video game, Capcom, I want the video game there. I do not need to buy Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter Turbo, Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, Super Street Fighter 4 Gold Arcade Edition. I want my game to be right there. Done. Simple. That's what pisses me off about Street Fighter sometimes. It's the fact that it has to be like 3 versions of one game. 2 is, what I also don't like is how it's pretty much the characters don't change at all. Mortal Kombat, the characters change a lot. which gives a lot of flexibility and adaptability. Scorpion's not what he was back in the day, but I feel like Rio's been keeping that 90s gi top for the past like 13 years. He needs to get something new. Maybe change the style. What I do like about the game is I think the gameplay flows pretty well. And I think there is diversity in the characters. I think the characters all have their own unique movesets and unique style to them. And some of them are interesting. And my favorite is probably Sea Viper. I like her. She's cool. She's pretty cool. So, moving on. Lost my place. Okay. Do you only collect DC comics, or do you have some Marvel or something? I collect DC. Apparently, I do IDW. I screwed up on that, but IDW and Dark Horse, but mostly just DC. I don't have any Marvel. I have one issue of Marvel, and that's Captain America #1, and that's because someone gave it to me. There you go. Okay, moving up. Which story arc of Batman would you like to see in the next DC animated film? Personally, I'd like to see No Man's Land as a movie. Kind of already answered this. I think a Batman Reborn, Batman and Robin one would be good. Which character would like which? I haven't read Green Lantern comics, but I will follow your timeline and read every single issue that came, every single issue since Secret Origin. So I want to know what goes after War of the Green Lantern, and are there any comics from the New 52 canon continuation of Green Lantern? That was kind of a mess of me reading that. Right after War of the Green Lanterns is the new DC 52 of Green Lantern. And for Green Lantern fans, you are happy and safe to know, just like Batman fans, almost everything from the previous universe is canon. So, it's canon. Go for it. Which character would you like to see get their own series, and would you pick up Suicide Squad again if Bane came to a core member? Would I pick up Suicide Squad again if Bane? Bane would be a big attractor to me, because Bane is pound for pound one of my favorite villains of all time. I guess it would come down to who's writing it. I think it would really come down to that too. But Bane would definitely be an attractor for me. As for which character would I want to see get their own series? Actually, you know what? I was going to say Donna Troy, but I think Donna Troy should get a miniseries. Actually, no, Cyborg. I would love to have a Cyborg comic and treat him as like the all-American hero. There you go. I would love a Cyborg comic. Okay, we're moving up on the ranks. What time are we at? 42 minutes. Holy shit. Okay, what are your thoughts on Brightest Day? I was actually going to do a review of Brightest Day. Did I do a review of Brightest Day? I was either going to do one or I am going to do one. Or I already did do one. Brightest Day is okay, but it's just okay. What's your thoughts on Batman Eye of the Beholder? Thoughts on Batman, The Dark Knight Pre-52 by David Finch. Those comics I'm going to leave for when I actually review them, because I am going to review them. I'm just going to wait a little before I do it. So I'm going to wait on answering that when I get to them. Are you going to pick up Batman and Robin, Dark Knight, White Knight, and Batman Gates of Gotham? I will. I just going to wait a bit before picking them up. Again, money's tight. Which trades have you bought after the relaunch? I bought Brightest Day. Trying to think. I'm not giving a blank stare to be funny. I'm trying to think. Brightest Day. I picked up some Showcase Presents and some Chronicles, but and I think I picked up Green Lantern Brightest Day, but I think that's about it. No, Green Lantern Brightest Day was before the relaunch, but that's pretty much what I picked up. I haven't picked up much else. My trade collection is kind of stopped for the moment. When Flashpoint tie-ins come out in trades, I plan to picking up two. Batman, my favorite character, and one other. Which one do you suggest? Superman, Wonder Woman, or Green Lantern? I would go with Wonder Woman. The Wonder Woman Aquaman stuff was fun. What internet shows do you watch weekly and why? I kind of already said that. IGN, Machinima, and the various other stuff. I do watch Yahtzee's reviews on video games, and actually, I missed yesterday's, so I'm going to have to watch that one. Did you read Batman Noel? No, I have not. Are you buying the Batman ink hardcover? I am. I'm actually going to pick that up when I get a chance. Could you do a video of your trades and single issues collections, like showing your books, explaining what you read and what you like, and show how you organize your shelves? And I just think it would be great to see a different collection because you get something, an idea of what to put in your head. I can show you real quickly what I have now, and I will. So, right here is the comics that I have to do for my Andrew Cutter pick of the week. My phone's down there too. But right here is my comic book trade collection, and a big mess next to it. But really, the way I do it is I do, and Scorpion, Raiden, and Sub-Zero are here. But I do Batman, then Batman family stuff. Then I do Wonder Woman, Superman, Green Lantern. Oh, well, Superman family stuff too. Green Lantern. And then I come up here to Aquaman, Flash, Booster Gold, Hawkman, Martian Manhunter, Brave and the Bold. Then I do team ups like Justice League, Justice League International, Teen Titans, and it goes all the way down to Event Comics, which you can't really see down there. Everything's all black because I have no light. And there's something in the way. But, yeah, sorry you can't see that well. And then over here I have my comic boxes, which I am using for my new DC 52 and stuff like that. These are the Blackhawk stuff that I was just reading. And right here I have my non-DC comic stuff that I just need to get a box for. I'm lazy. I can go more in detail about that later. Sit down. Readjust. Click. I can go into that more in detail later, but that's basically just. It's not that much different from what I showed before. Why do you hate Green Arrow? I do not hate Green Arrow. I don't like Green Arrow. Let me give you the gist. Green Arrow is not a nice guy, and not in a nice way. I like the concept of Green Arrow, the Buccaneer kind of a playboy, Robin Hood guy that uses arrows, trick arrows, to defeat his enemies. I think that's a cool idea. It's very adventurous and stuff. The problem is with Green Arrows, one, he cheats on his significant others a lot. He cheats on Black Canary a lot. Two is he seduces the wives of men. For example, Monoto Raven's wife, Dawn, him and her were having a bit of trouble in their relationship, and Green Arrow found out about this, and what did he do? He moseyed on in, and he said, "Hey, Dawn, you're having trouble with your husband. Hey, let's screw around." And she has relationships with him. Granted, it's just as much as Dawn's fault as Green Arrow, but Green Arrow even admits that he saw a low point in their relationship, and he moved in. He knew that Connor Hawke was his son, but he pretended not to know. And he was, instead of grieving and helping out Arsenal when Arsenal's child was killed, he goes out and he goes on murderous rampage. Oh, he's a dick to everyone. He was a dick to Hawkman when Hawkman came back to life. Hawkman has a very complicated relationship with Hawk Girl, and Green Arrow is trying to give him relationship advice and being a jerk to him about it. And then he was a jerk to Batman when Batman was trying to get information with Jason Todd. He was just a jerk to everyone. So maybe the new 52 Green Arrow is not a jerk, but you don't know. All done with the chocolate milk. Oh God, I wonder if I'm going to go into an hour. Who do you think would win in a fight, Batman or Link? Batman. I love Link to death, and he has the power of the goddesses behind him. But, I hate saying this. Link is not anything Batman hasn't fought before. Once you kind of fight against Darkseid and find a way to survive, and fight against Superman and find a way to survive, it's hard to find anything that... I mean, it's kind of like I had a discussion with someone who would win a fight, Dumbledore for Batman. Well, I mean, in an arena fight, Dumbledore would probably win, but when it comes down to it, Batman would overall find a way to win if it was not an arena fight. I think if it was close combat right with each other, I think Link would have a probably 15% chance of beating Batman if he had all the powers and the power of the Triforce. that he's allowed to have. But I think Batman would ultimately always win. Do you currently play World of Warcraft or in the past? Or have you in the past? No, I have never played WoW. Um, I just never got interested in it. It looks like a good game. I see my friends play it all the time, but I just don't care. Sorry. Okay, let's move up. I think I just skipped one. Oh no, I didn't. What's your favorite video game console of all time? Console? Probably the GameCube. That thing was accessible, portable, and had a lot of great games on it. I love that thing. Do you read any Dark Horse or Image? I already answered that. What inspired you to make YouTube videos? I saw. There's two reasons why, and you guys are gonna think one of them's funny. One is I just saw other reviewers do, and I thought it would be fun. The second thing is I am a business. I was a business major when I was in college. I'm acting like it was a long time ago. It was just like a month ago or 2 months ago I graduated, but um, and I decided, well, I might as well try to build up my business skills and see if I can market myself and see if I can, you know, try to create a successful channel. And I did that to kind of as a test of experiment. Now I do this because I want to help people. That's the real reason why I do it. It was a silly experiment that actually turned out to be something that I can allow myself to be part of a community and I can allow myself to help out people. That's why I do it. That's why I take X amount of hours out of my day to do this, not for money and not for any other reason, just to help you guys. But originally, what started me to do it is because I just wanted to see if I could market myself. I don't know. It was a silly business experiment that just worked, I guess. I don't know, but I don't know if you guys would find that funny or insulting or anything, but that's how I guess it started. But I do it now to help people because that's what I like to do. I like helping people. I like being a good person, and I like trying to help you guys buy the best comics you can. Um, let's see. Who would you like to collab on a YouTube or in real life? Only YouTube people. I would be okay with collaborating with anyone. Like I always said, if you guys ever want to do a podcast or if you guys ever want to do anything like that, just let me know and I would collaborate with you guys. Who? But is the let me? I think I might have read that wrong. Who would you like to collaborate with on YouTube or in real life? Does that mean anyone in the world? Because I think Oprah and I would do a fantastic job working together, or Will Smith or I, or maybe Reese Witherspoon or myself, or The Rock. But I'm open to anyone. I like doing podcasts. If you guys want to do a podcast, let me know because I like doing them. So yeah, anyone. Okay, questions. I'm probably will beat the hour mark. One, have you ever used your martial arts in real life? Yes, I have. I have had to defend myself a few times. What is your favorite moment between Spike and Angel? Trying to think. I think probably two moments. Um, let me just make sure I'm getting this in my head. I have that, and then that, and then okay. Two moments between Spike and Angel. It's not Spike on his own or Angel on his own. Three moments. One is when Smiley time when Spike finds him as a puppet, which is hilarious. Next is when Spike first crossed over onto Angel and was making fun of him. And oh, what was the other one? I just had it in my head and I completely forgot. Oh, my all-time favorite one is when Angel in the last episode is going around. He says, "One of you guys will betray me." Spike raises his hand like this, and he goes, "Wesley." Spike goes, "Oh, could I at least deny you 3 times?" That was good. Um, Three, my big question. Do you have any idea of the timeline of comics Batman is in? I assume Justice League is before Dark Knight, seeing that Flash appears in... Okay, this is what you have to understand. It's not hard to be lost. Everything in the DC New 52 is in present day, with the exception of Action Comics, which is set 6 years ago, Justice League, which is set 5 years ago, Demon Knights, and All-Star Western, which are set in the past. Besides that, Dark Knight, Batman, Flash, everything is set in the DC current present day. Everything else is set in the past, whether it's 5 years. Only Justice League and Action Comics are set like 5 years ago or 6 years ago. So yes, um, Dark Knight is set right now in present day. Sorry, Andrew. One more question. I've seen Superman get hit with the Omega beams repeatedly and not be taken out in one hit by them. Does this hint that Superman is weaker in the New 52 or just younger in Justice League? It could mean a few things. It could mean one, Superman's weaker. Two, Darkseid's just stronger than New 52. Or three, like all things, there are different interpretations for every character. So Jeff Johns probably just has a different interpretation of Superman's strength level. Superman maybe in the next comic be able to take 1,000,000 Omega beams. Maybe, I don't know. But I don't think he's necessarily weaker, per se. Maybe Superman in the past doesn't quite have his full powers, but I would not say he's weaker because he was able to take out Flash, Green Lantern, and Batman. Okay. If there were a zombie pandemic, how long do you think it would survive, and what would you do? Which Batman villain would you choose to have as his own comic series? What's your favorite vegetable? As for the zombie apocalypse, I think I would do very well because I have tons of weapons in my house. I believe I'm a survivalist, and I played a lot of Resident Evil games. Two, which Batman do I think should have their own comic series? Lady Shiva. Technically, I consider her a Batman villain. I think her series would actually be pretty fun. And what's my favorite vegetable? Pepper. Preferably red, yellow, orange. Peppers. But peppers. What is my major in college? I was a business management major. What's your favorite Beast Wars episode? Code of the Hero, the one where Dinobot dies. Very emotional. Best death scene. When am I going to get a new camera? Not for a long time. I have a webcam on my computer. I'm sticking to that. Sorry. Okay, I'm thinking of expanding my subscription by one comic. Which should I get? Nightwing, Dark Knight, or Batwing? Whatever I don't get, I will read on my DC Android app. Also, what Batman trades do you need to complete your collection? The only Batman trade I don't have other than like Eye of the Beholder and Batman Dark Knight, White Knight, and Batman Inc., is Batman Last Arkham. I actually don't have that. As for when it comes down to Batman, Nightwing, Dark Knight, or Batwing, it's a toss-up between Nightwing or Batwing. I like Nightwing more, but I think Batwing is a very, very good comic. It comes down to what you like more. Do you like Dick Grayson more, or do you want to try something new? So it's a toss-up between those two. Stay away from Dark Knight. Yes, okay. Any plans on getting an HD camera? No, no plans. Sorry. Is that the same person? No. Um, what do you think on the Man of Steel movie so far? And what are your thoughts on Henry, whatever his name, as Superman? I think he looks the part. I can't really say if I have any opinions on the Man of Steel movie because other than the few pictures that have been shown around, there hasn't really been anything for me to establish even the smallest bit of an opinion. So I can't answer that too well because there's not much to answer. But he looks the part for Superman. He looks like a Superman. So yeah. Why in your older videos do you address yourself as Skylanks or something like that? Reason why I address myself as Skylanks is because back in the day when I did Transformer reviews, everyone called themselves some kind of name. Dianus calls himself Silverbolt, and there's Optibotimus and Matrix Prime, and all that stuff. Skylinks, he was a Transformer that I enjoyed. He was a shuttle that turned into a beast, and he was cocky as hell, and I loved him. So I just did Skylinks. But when I started to move away from Transformers, started doing other stuff, specifically comics, I said, hey, might as well just use my name, Andrew. Second question. Out of the New 52, which are my top 5? Batman, Swamp Thing, Justice League, Wonder Woman, Flash. Those are my top 5. Oh, Supergirl's close there though. Supergirl is fantastic. Anyone not reading it, you're missing out. What are your thoughts on the announcements before Watchmen, and will you be picking them up? Are you talking about the Watchmen sequels that are coming out, Watchmen #2? I might actually pick them up. I'm not sure. There was a list of different comics that they're going to do, and I think I might get them. As for, are you talking about the comics that they do before Watchmen, like the after reading Watchmen, or before you read Watchmen, read this or some? I probably won't be picking those up. But Watchmen specific comics, I might pick up. We're getting close to the end, people. Getting close to the end. The last three questions, kind of. Last three comments. Did you read any other Blackest Night trades besides the main one? What did you... So, apparently, my recorder can't go past an hour without turning off on itself. That's fine. We're on the last three questions or comments. Did I read any other Blackest Night trades except for the main one? No, I did not. Are the new No Man Land trades worth buying, or should we stay with the classic ones? I think they're doing an omnibus of No Man's Land. I could be wrong, but in the end, it's going to be the same content no matter what you pick up. So just pick whatever is cheap and convenient for you. Um, what are the best essential Green Lantern trades before Rebirth and all the Jeff Johns run? Uh, I recommend if you really want to, because you only need, I mean, right now in a modern world, you only need the Jeff Johns one. But if you want to go out of your way, I recommend the Chronicle and Showcase Present series to get the earliest Green Lantern stuff. Emerald Dawn 2, and pick up some of the Kyle Rayner stuff. I think that would be good. But though I mean, you really only need Secret Origin and then Rebirth onward, and then know what happened in between. That's about it. And then finally, who is your favorite? Oh, this was already asked by someone. I guess that's the end. That is the end. Hey guys, we made it. It was over an hour long, but we made it. Huzzah! If I missed your question for whatever reason, just let me know and ask it again at the next question and answer. I am human, I am faulty, so I do make mistakes. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I know this was quite a bit long, but hey, I had fun and I hope you did too. So I'm actually going to go and read some comics and play some video games. So that's how I'm going to end this review here. This is Andrew saying review. This video here. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.